What's up guys, BARRYGAMING here, back with some more Project Diablo 2, and today we're going to be going over something that most of you might not have ever experienced in this game, and it all revolves around this extremely rare item called Vial of Lightsong. Now this item, it can be put in a cube with any item in the game that is not, I believe, indestructible. I don't think you can make an indestructible item ethereal, but you can actually make items such as things like Purgatory here that have repairs, one durability over a certain amount of seconds, that can be made ethereal with this item. And I kind of want to make this whole topic about this is please be careful when you are searching for some of these ultra rare items. One thing that was pretty much everybody wants, if you are going for a Purgatory build, essentially Purgatory gives 60% enhanced damage on this chest piece for every ethereal item equipped. Now typically you want to have like a sword and shield or dual wield or something like that, and in this build it's not really as big of a deal, but this is going to be really big because you can have 3 sockets, which in our situation here we're going to be able to have 3 5/5 fire facets inserted in here. And we're also getting, enhanced damage for the physical portion of our build. We're getting some other things like, magic find, ethereal, so higher defense and stuff. We kind of are just completely discounting the faster block rate and increased chance of blocking in this build because, well, we're just not doing that. But there's a lot of really good things that go along with this. Now, the reason why you see me having a 3-socket Purgatory that is not ethereal is because people are trying to sell the ethereal versions for way more than what they're worth. You go onto the trade site, you see them listed for 12, 14, 15 high runes for an ethereal 3-socket Purgatory. Now, getting a 3-socket slam on this isn't even that difficult. You can find like 20 of the regular non-ethereal versions on the trade site for as low as, I think I got this one for an ist, maybe a mal, I think I got this one for an ist. I think baseline it has somewhere in like the high 50s, like 58 magic find on it. Very, very inexpensive. However, you can get a vial for 8, 9-ish high runes. So instead of buying one of those Purgatories from the actual sellers that are a ridiculous price, what you can do is this right here. You can take your item, you can throw a vial in here, and today we are doing just this. So right now we have plus 180% enhanced damage with this. All we have to do is hit this transmute button, and now it becomes ethereal, and we retain that repairs 1 durability, so it will not ever get destroyed. And guess what? We just spent like a total of, I think, 8.5 high runes, because I think I got this vial for 8 high runes, maybe even just slightly under that, based on like what you guys think the rune value is. But basically almost half the price of an ethereal. So one thing you really need to know, and when you get to some of these higher ticket items that are 10 plus high runes for an item, know what the market looks like. And as you guys saw here too, you can use that vial on an item and you will not lose what is socketed in it. So for the time being, until I'm ready to fully transition into this build, I'm just gonna stick these fire facets in my bank right now. We still need to wait to get an ethereal Raycors. We've already got a couple of ethereal rep items, repair durability items on our build already. So we already have like a belt, mainly just going for damage reduction, resistances, things like that, magic find that we can get. These are kind of like placeholders for our end game build, but finding the right items can be expensive if you're going for like Gore Riders. If you're going just for like some tri-res magic find type boots or something like that, you can get them for as cheap as like Gull Vex. So it's very affordable to go for. The big ticket item is going to be about a 10 high rune cost on your Purgatory, and then whatever you put in this already. So you see at the moment we're already to 240% enhanced damage. Once we get our ethereal rakers and put a Zod in it down the road with some facets, this will go up to 300% ED. And then the only decision we have is what to do with our glove slot, because of course you cannot slam indestructible on gloves. You can only do that on boots, I believe. And because we want Hellmouth, we're not going to be able to get a repair on it. So most likely what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy every single ethereal Hellmouth that hits the auction house, hits the trade site, whether it's -5, -10, whatever, because most of them that are up there for ethereal, you can buy for like 1 or 2 Worldstone shards. And I'm just going to buy a ton of those because just by equipping that item, you're going to get another 60 enhanced damage, which is better than the 34% enhanced damage I even have on this -10. So that's kind of be the game plan, because grand total this build will go up to 360% physical damage, enhanced damage, and then beyond that we're gonna have +15 -15 fire resistance skill damage on our item here. We're basically just going for like a magic find build right now. As you guys can see right under my face here, we're at about 308 in our build right now, not counting what the map is going to be giving us. And this is pretty much what we're going to be going for, because you can also see up the top here, we're going for max resistances and such. Physical damage reduction will have 21% once we get into combat, because we have our mercenary here, which is going to be having that defiance set up here. So we have a lot of good things. I kind of like having Immortal King on him right now, just because it does give enchant fire, which I think it even casts it on me too, I think I've seen. So that's going to be our next project. Next project, we got to find that 3-socket ethereal Rakors, or we need to find a 2-socket ethereal that slammed indestructible, because helmets can also slam indestructible. So those are kind of our options here. As far as rings go, we're doing 2 half freeze duration, so we get cannot be frozen, some physical damage reduction, some leech, strength, all resistances, different types of resistances, and a ton of extra magic finds. So that is what our build is slowly going to transition to, because I wanted to go a little bit more into our physical damage portion, because our leap is very important too. If we take a look at what we got going on here, we got about like 10,000 on the upside here, which isn't a lot for a physical build, but that initial hit, and because we're doing all those little baby leaps, really adds up. And the fact that we're going to be applying amp damage on everything very easily is going to increase the physical portion of our damage. Beyond that, we have the Atmos for the physical portion, because I think both Molten Boulder and Meteor have a physical portion of their damage, and this is actually a significant amount. The Meteor damage is pretty solid. Molten Boulder, maybe not as much here. So I don't know if I actually have a map ready. I kind of do. Is this a decent map? I love running Ruined Cistern on this one. The density is a little low, but the magic find is kind of nice. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to slam it, and then we're going to call it. I'm getting tapped out on resource. You can see here, we're under like 5 high runes now. 76 density, not horrible. I'm not going to waste a standard or anything else on it. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to jump in with our Purgatory setup. But again, just remember, that's the main part I want to take away for this here, is if you're buying these high ticket items and it's an ethereal item, you might better off be going for the regular version and then upgrading it with a vial. So just keep that in mind. Weapons are another perfect scenario. Finding that GG weapon that's not ethereal and then you make it ethereal might be cheaper in the long run. So let's get into this run here. Let's see what we can do here. We're still level 91. We've had some deaths here and there because I've been not paying attention, or I've been playing with my kiddo and right next to me, messing with my mouse and stuff. So let's see how quickly we can get this done without being too much of a pain and not looting too much. We're probably going to skip a lot of items here. The density on this one is not going to be the best either, so we got to keep that in mind. But increasing the physical damage portion of this should increase the overall performance of this build. And like I said, we will continue to get more and more enhanced damage as we get more ethereal items ready to go. And you have to remember too, we only have what, 10% elemental pierce and 28% elemental mastery, so we're missing about 25% of both of those right now. So we're going to be doing a ton of extra fire damage coming up really soon here. So that is something that is just really cool. I think if we were not going for the Atmos strategy, I might build like something like a ferocity helmet, because it's kind of cool here. But I think what we're just going to plan on doing is sticking with our game plan. I really like Atmos in this build, and again, this build really shines once you get a ton of density. And the big thing is, I think a lot of people don't understand how to play Fissure. Fissure works a lot Oh my god, that molten boulder just pushed him back like 10 screens. Did you see that? Fissure works in a very interesting way. Fissure is an ability that if the enemy is standing still, is not going to be doing that much damage, because not like, basically you see the fissure on the ground, not the entire portion of it is hitting all the targets. It's just not going to happen. Essentially what you want is you want enemies running across your whole fissure, because then it has a higher chance of actually proccing some stuff. And as I'm talking about this, I'm actually getting like so many items that I want to look at here and just see if anything's worthwhile. They're going to take up a lot of bag space, I know. I did a big crafting session the other day, which ended up turning out good, and holy cow, we're getting a lot of just items I want to pick up. It's hard to not pick up every blue jewel, because you're like, that one jewel is going to be a 40-15. You know it is. Let's see if we can just run a long streak down this pathway and get everybody to follow us as well. This could be some really good damage now. And we got a sigil there. We got some ethereal items on the ground. I basically, for this build now, I pick up every single ethereal belt and boot I see on top of that, of what we normally pick up, because, well, I just want to craft on those. If I can get an ethereal base, because you can't buy them from vendors, I don't believe. If you get a bunch of ethereal bases, eventually you're going to hit ones that have the repair durability on it, which is the keyword we're looking for, so that it never breaks on us. And then at that point, we'll be able to get a potentially good setup where it's like, you know, physical damage reduction things. Boots are kind of the ones I'm kind of iffy on. I kind of like, I low-key kind of like my belt right now, because it does have physical damage reduction on it, so kind of cool. Yeah, overall, just I'm really enjoying the build. I really like it. I feel like this going with the Purgatory build is a little expensive. Like, it's a little overkill for the average player, to be honest. A dragon will perform just fine, and Ormus robes will perform just fine. There's so many different options. Heck, you can even do a safety craft chest piece and go for 3-socket with enhanced damage and such. All these are going to be options that you can do for your build. There's just so much flexibility on what you go for. There isn't like, besides like what, the 4 main pieces, the chest piece, the belt, the boots, the rings are all flex positions. Even the helmet, technically, if you don't want to go for the dual setup that we're running here, all these are potential options that you can run here to make sure you guys get the gameplay you want. And you can see here, all these enemies are just walking through the fire behind us. That is the ultimate goal. You just want them to continue following us from behind and just get some good stuff going. Wow, actually a couple. Oh no, wait, I want that. I need to re-roll some charms, man. This quick run is turning into a run that I want to actually loot stuff on. So maybe I'll finish this on my own time. I don't want to burden you guys out with kind of a boring gameplay. I just want to show you guys an update and also talk about something to make sure if you're going for some of those higher ticket items, you don't waste your resources, because you could throw away 5 high runes on something that you could make yourself for about 8 or 9. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want to see more gameplay of this, I'll try to get like a longer video. I might actually start streaming on Twitch as well. We'll have to see. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Save some high runes. Hopefully we get lucky. I've been getting like 3 to 4 high runes a day at least, which is really, really amazing. Considering I think our kill count is what, was it kills all? We're only at 184. Like, we got some pretty insane luck so far. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.